There's a lot of hate for Overwatch these days, and honestly, rightfully so. Where's the PvE? Where's 6v6? And what was the point of the 2 in Overwatch 2 are all valid complaints to have for Overwatch. But with the recent Season 15, and with Marvel Rivals being the big talk of the town, I decided to come back after 5 months of not playing Overwatch to take a look at the new perks, ranked updates, loot boxes, and more in the future to tell you if it's worth it to come back to Overwatch or not. So sit back, grab your popcorn, and listen to me yap. Now, before you start typing, yes, I know Marvel Rivals is free. But I realized that some of you people might have left Overwatch back in Season 1 of Overwatch 2's release and still think you have to pay for heroes and can't buy any skins. But boy, do I tell you, they fixed a lot of things after 2 years. I mean, I honestly hope they fixed it after 2 years. They also been giving free skins more often that are new. I mean, looking at the Winter Wonderland, we got a pretty cool Widowmaker skin, Cass, and an Echo skin for simply just playing the game. And I mean, if we want to compare it to like Marvel Rivals, we only got one Jeff skin for the whole winter event. The battle pass has some free credits in there, and you can get more credits by doing challenges. Now, you can't use these credits to buy shop skins, but you can use these credits to buy things from the hero gallery. And while yes, you do still have to buy premium credits, you can also earn a good amount of free ones in the battle pass as well, not even needing to pay for it. Now, so far, you might be thinking that I'm sponsored or something, but I do want to remind you I'm doing this in my own free will. But I think it's overall a W for Overwatch, as I think a lot of people play this game to get cool skins or cosmetics to show off in game. Not only that, but if you haven't heard, in Season 15, they also brought back loot boxes. Now, this time, there's absolutely no way you can buy these, and you can only earn these by playing the game. Yeah, I know, terrible. Now, in Season 15, for bringing them back, you can't earn more than 3 loot boxes a week, which is the limit, by the way, after Season 15. But the cool thing about these loot boxes is that you can get really expensive shop items in these loot boxes. Like online the other day, I saw someone get the Ion Reaper weapon skins from opening their loot boxes. So it is a pretty cool incentive to play the game, even at least a little bit, to get a chance of getting a loot box with a cool item in it. Now, talking a little bit about monetization, I personally think it isn't just an Overwatch problem, but overall the gaming industry as a whole. And believe me when I say this with no glaze, but I think Overwatch is actually not the worst out of all of them. Like recently they released an Ash Mythic gun that's around 40 bucks, plus you get 20 tiers in the battle pass for free, which I don't think is that bad, honestly, comparing that to other games. Apex Legends, you literally have to gamble for heirloom shards to get your like heirloom or whatever, or if there's an event going on, you have to pay up to $160 for that mythic skin, which is absolutely absurd and much worse than Overwatch or even Valorant, which I would argue has even worse reskins for even more money. Like this Champions 2021 Vandal is 26 bucks for a literal reskin of the original model of the Vandal. And for $40 more, you can get a knife. Now, I could go on and on about the rest of the industry and how screwed it is, but I think that Overwatch does have the most fairest pricings in the industry, but that's just my opinion. Now, enough of the monetization and cosmetics. Let me tell you if it's actually even still fun to play. Now, I've been messing around in comp because that's my main playlist when I'm playing Overwatch, and I would consider myself a pretty casual player now, as I really don't care about my rank anymore. And you might notice that I'm diamond because that border at the bottom left, like they brought it back. Now, besides that, the big talk in Season 15 is the perks. And I gotta say, they do make the game pretty interesting. Now, honestly, not all of them are perfect and good for every character, but for the ones that do have a really big impact on, it really does matter which one you choose against what team comp you're playing into or what kind of team you're playing with. For example, the ones that I liked is Zarya's, where she can choose between the Graviton doing more percentage damage, or she has more knockback on her right click. Now, you might know that Zarya kind of struggles against Maywalls and all that, but with choosing the second perk, you can actually counter getting Maywalled. Now, that's just purely one example, and I'll let you guys mess around with that if you choose to come back. And I also think they really thought about the leveling system in this game. Now, I understand that they definitely took this perk, or at least took inspiration from Apex's perk system, system, but the way to level up the perks are really thoughtful, as you have to heal, damage, or do objectives. And what's nice is that these levels will not transfer unless you're doing like a certain kind of game mode or an overtime. So that problem of counter swapping tanks isn't as prevalent as it was before without perks, but it incentivizes you to stay on your character, as if you're a level 3 Zarya and you want to swap to Winston or something, you're going to be punished for counter swapping because you're going to be at level 0 where the enemy is still at level 3. Now, as time goes on, I do imagine that people are going to have a set meta of perks to kind of just default to, but as of right now, while everything is still new, it's pretty refreshing to have these perks in the game. But even so, there's a lot to learn right now with all the new perks in the game. And honestly, I've been having a lot of fun. But now the last topic I want to talk about is Rivals versus Overwatch. Now, if you're completely new to the channel and also enjoy Marvel Rivals, you should check out my channel. But it's very obvious that Marvel Rivals has absolutely taken over the hero shooter genre right now. And after coming back to Overwatch from Rivals, I definitely noticed the difference of how the games are played. While yes, both have tanks, damage, and supports, I definitely felt like I was feeding a lot more in Overwatch because I was so rival pilled into thinking I could just get bailed out from a Cloak and Dagger or Luna Snow and their insane healing output. Because I feel like in Rivals, there's at least like 4 heroes that basically have a transcendence on a much longer timer and can arguably do more than people in Overwatch. But long story short, I think that Overwatch is a better competitive game and Rivals is a more casual game. Now let me explain. Rivals is more fun and chaotic, which is why a lot of people enjoy playing the game right now, because you can just do whatever. I mean, you have things like Bucky ult, Star-Lord, Luna Snow, and a bunch of other heroes with crazy abilities. And while yes, I do understand that Rivals can be competitive and arguably more competitive than Overwatch, I do feel that Overwatch is a bit more tame, but more tame for the competitive scene, which in turn makes it a bit more boring compared to Rivals. But with some of the perks that they've added, it's definitely added some more chaos to Overwatch, which makes it more fun for me. I do want to point out that Overwatch does feel better to play than Rivals, because Rivals is just absolutely unoptimized compared to Overwatch, and that's just a fact. But now I do want to answer the question, should you come back to Overwatch season 15? And my answer is no. While you've definitely thought I glazed the game quite a bit in the beginning, and the perks make Overwatch a bit more enjoyable, at the end of the day, if you don't like Overwatch, I don't think that this update alone will bring you back, as they essentially just gave us back Overwatch 1 with new perks. Now, I do want to point out that they did give us a roadmap for the future all the way up to Season 18, showing us cool things like heroes, map voting, hero bans, and much more. And I'm glad that Rivals came out to really make Overwatch wake up, and I think competition is amazing for both games, as it's we, the consumers, who are going to be winning. But I do think that if you are having withdrawals, as maybe you miss Mercy or maybe you miss playing Genji like me, I do believe that you should give it at least a chance one more time. As always guys, if you did like the video, a like and a sub does go a really long way. Share the video with your friends, comment if you're gonna come back to Overwatch, and as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Peace and love, baby.